E3 is that time of year where your favorite video game companies are supposed to bring their A game. They're supposed to bring the whole arsenal, their aces in the hole, their little trump cards, everything up their sleeve, everything in their back pocket, the whole nine. And at this year's E3, I felt Microsoft failed to do that. Why? Not because, they showed off Gears 3 and Halo Reach. That's not the issue. The issue is basically they told us things we already knew were coming. E3 is that time of year where you're supposed to surprise us. You're supposed to shock us. You're supposed to bring stuff to the table that no one thought that you could possibly even manage. And like I said earlier to a few friends, Nintendo and Sony, they did that. Nintendo brought things that you couldn't possibly even hope to have to life, to fruition. You got what you wanted if you were a core audience member of Nintendo. For Sony, sure, they came up with the PS Move, somewhat casual, but they tied in their Killzone and all that other good stuff in there. They made it look appealing. They made it look sexy as hell. Unfortunately, Microsoft failed to do that with their Kinect. Now, Kinect had three killer flaws. One, it's voice activated, meaning it doesn't even have to be anyone even remotely in your room that could piss you off. It could be someone that you're gaming with. All they gotta do is say console off. And if you're running the voices through your speakers instead of a headset, well, let's just say this. You could be, oh man, getting a kill streak. Yeah, yeah, get a kill streak. So awesome, so awesome. Someone just being a douchebag on Xbox Live says console off, and ew, no kill streak for you. You're done. You're robbed. You're dead. Your Xbox just powered off, and you're looking at it, mouth agape, jaw dropping to the floor like, oh my god, I cannot believe that just happened. And this is going to be really bad if you have an annoying little brother or someone that you really have conflicts with in your house. Because y'all will be having a good, let's say you're having a good time, good situation, have a whole bunch of friends, playing Xbox Live, playing on Halo or something. Actually, it don't even have to be Xbox Live, you can just be playing on Halo, that someone runs in there, console off, and by God, you have yourself a big sloppy, dead console just looking at you in the face like, oh well, she said power off, there was nothing I could do about it. Then your little 8-year-old sister runs out giggling and then runs by the parents, and you can't really do anything at that point. So once again, you lose. Now, the other killer flaw that I found with Kinect was, first off, it just screams pedophile central. I mean, let's face it. You can expose yourself to 7 kids at once with your 8-person video chat. And a lot of you are probably saying that I'm going off the deep end here, but let's face it. There's been worse things that have happened via internet. And with Xbox Live, Project Kinect seems like a complete and utter godsend to pretty much anything you could possibly even imagine that a pedophile could even dream of. And another thing that is like a really weird scenario that I thought of, let's just say some guy, some creep perv exposes himself to a kid. Kid runs off to get his parents. He's like, oh god, I'm in trouble. Console off. And then pretty much anybody whose Xbox is close enough to hear what's going on the TV, if the 360 picks up that console off, well, all the 360s that were involved in the video chat could possibly go off. And therefore, even in the casual market, Project Kinect has failed to move me. But even with that said, that little girl, unfortunately, I hate to say it, she sold the Kinect. She did everything that she could have possibly ever been hoped to have done. I mean, she was being all into it, acting like the dog was really licking her face and everything. But come on. Do those games actually appeal to the masses of you who are even watching this video? If that even happens. Probably only like 15 of you will ever see this video, probably. But for those of you watching it, anyway, are you appealed by this? Is this what you want to shove out tons of money for? Games like, Lick Me Up Doggy or Please Come to Me Poochie or something? You don't want to see that. Basically, you want to get your hands on your Gears, your Call of Duty, and your Halo. And once again, Microsoft, they showed those off. However, problem is, they're really stuff that we already knew that was coming, so once again, they didn't dazzle us. Pretty much 75% of their conference was talking about this pedo fail of a casual gamertron known as Project Kinect. And really, I did not feel moved by anything that they did in their conference that really persuaded me to get anything other than Metal Gear Rising and, the two things that we knew we were going to get, the new Gears and the new Halo. And On a side note, as for Gears and Halo, Gears, well, that's pretty much just, kind of known that it's going to fall in between great and awesome somewhere. And finally, everybody's dreaming Halo. Sprinting, jetpacks, and dual barrel roll. I mean, combat roll. Sorry, couldn't resist a good peppy line. However, that's pretty much what it is. We knew we were getting those. Metal Gear Rising, sure, I was compelled to buy that game, but as a Metal Gear Solid title, since it's not an exclusive, don't you think the PS3 version's gonna sell more? I mean, it's kind of like exposing a piece of their kryptonite at an E3 conference. That's just something that you really shouldn't even want to do. Because, I mean, the PS3, they had their exclusives. The Wii, they had their exclusives. And by God, it wasn't the casual market that we've all come to expect from, Nintendo. They came out double barrel, guns blazing. They came at you with their A game. That was the type of conference that you need to have at E3 to stay on top. And Nintendo was the clear victor this year. There was no competition. And the next part, I'll get to them because they just completely. I would bedazzle my jeans with Nintendo right there on the left cheek and the right cheek, have Peach and Mario on the thighs. I'd do it. After what I saw at that conference, I'd do it. But, like I said, with Microsoft, they did not move me in any positive direction. Kinect put me to sleep, and it had many flaws, as I've already explained. They told us about stuff we already knew, which was the other flaw, but the killer mistake was the simple fact that they probably have given the biggest middle finger to any video gamer for the Microsoft fan base ever, because this was really bad. They came out with their Xbox 360 Slim, and they did two things. One, they said it has the built-in Wi-Fi, it's slimmer, it doesn't overheat as fast, which are all good things, but they never thought to actually, fix that one thing where if you slightly even touch the console, you're pretty much your disc is going to be scratched beyond all belief and all repair. So that was something they could have worked on, but didn't. So that already kind of turned me off from the console. Two, the fact that, come on now, how are you going to wait all this time, then give us something that saves us so much cash? You don't have to buy a Wi-Fi adapter. It saves you space, and it probably won't red ring. I mean, sure, it's a saved console. I really have my faith in it, but to anybody who already owns one, don't you think that's just a giant middle finger to you? I mean, you wasted your money on your wireless adapter, kind of wasted your money on the big bulky console. Now you got this nice little slim compact built-in Wi-Fi, little robot thing going on, and you just have to sit there with pretty much the shit face, because you're pretty much raging at the fact that they did this so late. Anyway, moving on. The other thing that they did that kind of made me rage about the 360 Slim was everybody at their press conference got a free one. Now, personally, you're probably saying, "Oh, what's the problem with that? They were just supporting the people who actually went out to see them." Yes, but at the same time, most of these people are the people who review the conferences. And what better way to get good reviews than to be hustling on the down low by giving out free 360 Slims for good reviews? Now, some people don't think, that Microsoft would stoop that low, but let's face it, in this world, anything and everything is possible. I mean, we got games coming out that, a lot of people didn't even see coming out. Like the whole Kinect idea of moving your whole body as the controller. I mean, hell, people didn't even see the Wii coming out with motion sensing controls to be its main gimmick and seller point. But look what we got. That's what we have, and lo and behold, there it is. You got it. So don't sit there and try to say that, oh, that's not what they're doing, because it's very well possible, and the way that they did it, it seemed that way. Because I've seen reviews on both IGN and other, video game reviewing sites, and these people normally hate Microsoft's guts. But then in all the reviews, they kept saying, we were completely wrong. But how can you say they were completely wrong when all they did was show off Kinect and things that you already knew were coming? You just don't do that. That's just in bad taste. Because I can understand being a hypocrite or being proven wrong and having your opinion changed with good reason. But this isn't even in the realm of good reason. This is just buying off corporate business reviews, and you scratch our back because we scratched your type stuff. So honestly, Microsoft, I have to give your press conference an F. you kind of just failed. Because personally, a lot of people are going to say I probably hate Microsoft or I hate 360s. No, the 360 is my favorite console. It is my main console. But the stuff they pulled at E3, no, I'm sorry, but kind of rambled on a bit too long here for them. So hold on to a part two in which I'll talk about Nintendo. And in part three, I'll head over to Sony's press conference to stay with the last boys up. So leave a comment, video response, anything you'd like to do. I'm out of here. Peace.